Let me share something I've come to understand deeply. There's a moment in life, often later than we expect, when you recognize you are the one who needs your own care the most. You have devoted years, possibly decades, to making sure everyone else was all right. You've been a pillar, a caregiver, a solver of dilemmas large and small, often neglecting what your own heart and body needed. Now, in this stage of life, it becomes essential to pivot that care inward. It is not selfish, rather, it is gratitude for the body and soul that have supported you through countless days and nights. Whether you spent your life tending to a profession, raising a family, or supporting a community, your body has always kept you going. It deserves gentleness, time to rest, and healing attention. When you give yourself those gifts, you aren't being self-centered. You are honoring the vessel that has carried you this far. For far too long, you may have let your mind race with worries about others, about your future, or about circumstances far beyond your power to change. Those worries, in many ways, have become a habit, running through your thoughts day after day, sometimes late into the night. Now it's time to ease up, to make space for tranquility. You can choose what occupies your thoughts, engaging with music that soothes, picking up a book that inspires, or spending quality time with people who brighten your day. These are all acts that calm an overworked mind. There's also value in letting silence replace needless chatter, and stepping back from gossip or negativity that serves no meaningful purpose. By doing so, you protect and nurture your mental energy. Your heart, too, has endured many highs and lows, giving love when you felt empty, forgiving when it was tough, and holding on through moments of stress. Perhaps it has held on longer than it should in certain situations, simply because it's kind by nature. At this point in life, however, your heart has earned the privilege of being at peace. It's time to share kindness with yourself, to shield yourself from interactions or relationships that chip away at your sense of wholeness. Create room to breathe, to be gentle, to feel love in its pure and uncomplicated form, starting with self-love. In that space, your spirit, which has always known your deepest needs, can finally be heard again. It may call you to nature, to prayer, to stillness, or to a spark of creativity you once neglected. This is your invitation to listen and honor whatever it reveals. To do so effectively, boundaries are necessary. You are not obligated to take every phone call, agree to every request, or entertain every conversation, especially those that leave you depleted. You've poured so much of your life into others. Now, you must ask yourself if you are truly all right. If you're not, it's on you to make changes. That could mean turning down invitations, stepping away from draining commitments, or learning to say no without burdening yourself with guilt. You do not need anyone's permission to tend to your own emotional garden. In a culture that often prizes busyness as a hallmark of importance, rest has become undervalued. Yet rest is not something you earn by working or sacrificing enough. It is as essential as breathing. You already spent endless years proving yourself to your boss, your family, and your peers. Let go of that perception. Allow your body and spirit the downtime they crave. By doing so, you restore your energy, support your mental well-being, and ultimately allow a deeper sense of joy to surface. Joy, as it turns out, is not something you must constantly chase at the expense of everything else. Nor is it found solely in grand achievements or expensive milestones. Joy emerges in everyday life, in the scent of your morning coffee, in a kind remark from a friend, in a laugh that makes your stomach ache. It appears whenever you decide to notice it. What is more, you don't need external approval to appreciate it. You get to claim it right now, in the ordinary moments that shape your existence. Eventually, there comes a profound realization that true wealth is not measured in any currency, but in the peace you carry within yourself. Waking up without an undercurrent of dread, moving through your day without baggage, and ending it free of regret. Those are life's genuine treasures. You reach such peace not by always trying to control circumstances, but by allowing them to be what they are and choosing how you respond. You might have spent years believing you could manage everything, if only you tried a bit harder. But sustainable peace often arrives when you embrace the fact that some things cannot be changed or undone. Letting them be allows you to release tension and step out of the fight. It helps to recognize that silence can be a powerful component of peace. Not every opinion directed at you deserves a rebuttal. Not every perceived slight is worth addressing. And not every argument is yours to resolve. Rather than responding to every conflict, sometimes you can choose stillness, letting others carry on without your involvement. That quiet stance doesn't signify weakness. It's a testament to your inner resilience and your dedication to maintaining calm. Within that stillness, you discover that peace was there all along. It was simply overshadowed by the noise you once allowed to dominate your thoughts. Letting go of grievances and bitterness is another cornerstone of a peaceful life. Holding on to anger towards someone who wronged you, or clinging to disappointment from relationships that ended places an unnecessary weight on your shoulders. Some individuals fear that forgiving means excusing the wrongs done or allowing them to repeat. But real forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the shackles of the past. You are not bound to those wounds anymore. The hurt happened, lessons were learned, and you can choose to release it rather than relive it. That doesn't mean forgetting, nor does it dismiss accountability, but it loosens the grip that negativity has on your life. An environment that supports your peace is equally important. Spend time with people who bring out your warmth and energize you instead of draining you. Walk away from conversations that are fueled by gossip or malice. If someone or something repeatedly disrupts your peace, remember that setting limits is your right. You're no longer obligated to bear an atmosphere that continuously undermines your well-being. Part of safeguarding your energy involves acknowledging it as precious. You have only so much focus, so much emotional reserve, so much time. Before you invest it in someone else's drama or negativity, pause and consider if it's truly worth it. Practicing gratitude is a simple yet profound way to enrich your sense of serenity. By centering on what is good and what you do have, rather than fixating on deficits, you shift the lens through which you view life. Suddenly, the sunrise in the morning is no longer routine, but a gift. The comfort of your bed is a blessing, and the presence of dear friends becomes a cherished treasure. Peace flows in when you fully appreciate what's already present, rather than longing for what's absent. Staying anchored in the present moment is another crucial piece. It's easy to replay old regrets or to worry incessantly about what tomorrow holds. But in doing so, you overlook the life that's unfolding now. The laughter around you, the taste of your meal, the texture of sunlight and shadow. These moments slip away if you are too occupied with yesterdays you can't rewrite or tomorrows you can't predict. Live in the now. Take that deep breath, notice the details, and let the immediacy of life bring calm to your mind. You may realize over time that inner peace is an ongoing choice. Each day, you decide whether to harbor old pains or to let them fade. You determine whether to hold grudges or free yourself from them. You choose whether to be drawn into every argument or to keep your perspective. Over and over, you'll be reminded that you hold the key to your own calm. It's an act of courage as well as wisdom to maintain that peace, especially when external chaos tries to pull you in. After all these years, you might look back and see how much strain you carried. Maybe you shouldered guilt over mistakes you made or believed you weren't good enough. Perhaps certain people left you feeling unworthy, or you replayed memories in your head, wondering how they could have gone differently. Yet, holding on to those scenarios only compounds your present exhaustion. The past's function is to teach you, but living there stops you from growing. You have the freedom to release guilt about what you didn't know then. Being human means you were allowed to be imperfect, to learn on the go. Accept the lessons and let the rest go so that you don't keep punishing yourself. It's possible that certain individuals who once filled your life were only meant to be there briefly. You might have replayed conversations, imagining better endings or ways to keep them around. In truth, some connections fulfill their purpose and naturally fade. Their departure makes space for new insights, new relationships, and a fresh sense of who you are. You can't move forward when you're chained to a past that's already concluded. Resentment is a toxic force that can linger if you let it. It might make you believe you're balancing some cosmic scale, ensuring the other person pays for the hurt they caused. But resentment is like a fire you stoke inside your own home. Only you feel its destructive heat. Cutting it loose isn't an admission that the wrong never happened. It's a decision not to let that wrong dominate your thoughts anymore. At times, closure never comes in the form of apologies or explanations. You may never get the acknowledgement you waited for, and that reality has to be acceptable enough to let your heart heal. You can't put your life on hold waiting for someone else to see or grasp your pain. Closure might have to originate from within, from deciding you deserve to move on, even if they never fully understand the damage they caused. There is strength in knowing your worth, with or without their validation. Memories have a tricky way of distorting reality. You might glamorize certain parts of the past or exaggerate how awful something felt. Yet you are no longer that same person. You've changed, grown, and deepened in your understanding of yourself and the world. Offer yourself the grace to see those memories honestly. If a chapter has ended, permit it to remain in the past. Continue your story without repeatedly revisiting former pages. If your hands remain clenched around what was, you cannot open them up to the possibilities of now or tomorrow. New experiences, joys, and lessons wait on the horizon, but they can't enter your life if you're tightly gripping yesteryear. Letting go is not betraying your own story. It's recognizing that clinging to the past doesn't serve you anymore. There is a renewed sense of respect for yourself in acknowledging that the burdens you once carried are no longer yours to hold. Think, too, about how you allocate your energy. Every emotion, every anxious thought, every pointless argument consumes part of you. That energy has a finite limit. Learning to pause, assess the value of a given situation, and decide whether it's worth investing your emotional resources can radically change the quality of your days. You start to see that some issues, once deemed critical, are better left to resolve on their own. Not all fights demand your presence. Sometimes, simply stepping back is the healthiest approach. You may also realize it's appropriate to direct your energy toward people who reciprocate and uplift. Be aware of how you feel around various individuals. Do you leave conversations feeling lighter or heavier? Are you inspired or simply drained? Over time, you learn the difference between relationships that feed your spirit and those that merely consume it. Placing boundaries around who has access to you, both emotionally and physically, can protect the vibrant core of your being that you've spent a lifetime cultivating. You've devoted years to supporting others, perhaps rarely pausing to nourish your own ambitions and personal growth. This is your chance to shift the focus. It doesn't mean you no longer love or help others. It means you also prioritize yourself as you would a dear friend. Being kind doesn't require always being available. If certain responsibilities or interactions are too taxing, you can turn them down or delegate them. Not everything needs to rest on your shoulders. Another revelation emerges when you realize you do not have to prove yourself to people determined to misunderstand you. Some individuals will misconstrue your intentions regardless of how often you explain. Instead of battling for their approval or trying to correct their perceptions, you can simply walk away. Peace sometimes flourishes in the absence of conflict, rather than in winning an argument. Evaluate which engagements are worth your emotional investment. Leading by example can be far more potent than explaining with words. People pay attention to your overall energy, how you live your values, and how consistent you are through good times and bad. Consistency in kindness, and self-care and resilience. These qualities show what you believe better than any lecture can. If you value growth, embody curiosity, and a willingness to learn. If you champion self-love, let people witness you resting, saying no, or calmly stepping away from toxic dynamics. That congruence between what you claim and how you act is what leaves a lasting impression on those who look up to you. Indeed, your presence has the power to communicate more loudly than your words. There will always be temptations to correct or defend yourself when people criticize, judge, or spread falsehoods. But sometimes a steady, serene silence conveys far more conviction than the heated debate. You cannot control how others perceive you, but you can choose how you respond. Consistent behavior, showing patience, integrity, and calm, often has a transformative impact on the people around you, especially if they are accustomed to discord. Once you stop running after approval, you discover a new kind of energy. No longer do you have to announce every improvement in your life to gain an ovation, nor do you need to validate every milestone with someone else's opinion. You operate from a place of inner certainty, forging your own path without the distraction of constant outside commentary. People who resonate with your authentic self will find you, and those who don't are free to go their own way. Leading by example does not require that you be flawless. It's about being genuine, allowing others to see your perseverance through challenges, your capacity to handle setbacks with grace, and your commitment to personal evolution. Friends, children, strangers, they all observe more than they listen. The warmth you emanate, the empathy you show when difficulties arise, and the consistent respect you grant yourself all paint the real portrait of who you are. All of this reminds us that life is not a race to some elusive finish line. It is a winding journey meant to be experienced, savored, and shared. We often fall into the trap of believing happiness will greet us once we secure a promotion, once we retire, or once every last detail in our life is in perfect order. Yet, true fulfillment reveals itself in the day-to-day. It's found in a comforting moment with a loved one, in the gentle laughter that comes when you allow yourself to be fully present, in the quiet marvel of morning light spilling through the window. Each stage of life brings its own set of lessons. Time, which we often fear, can be a generous teacher, etching into us wisdom that can't be gained any other way. Instead of lamenting wrinkles or changed circumstances, you can see them as evidence that you have lived, truly and sometimes courageously. Not everyone is granted the privilege of many years, so celebrating the opportunity to grow older can become a profound act of gratitude. You might discover that joy doesn't require everything to be flawless. You do not need a spotless house, meticulously planned activities, or a perfect track record. Some of the most treasured memories are spontaneous, messy, and raw. They arrive when you surrender the need for control and allow yourself to engage with life wholeheartedly. It could be a quiet night spent telling stories, or a silly dance in your living room. The point is to embrace what is happening, rather than fixating on how it could be improved. If you have people you love, celebrate them. Make sure they know you value them. Exchange laughter, reminisce, and build new memories together. Life's unpredictability reminds us that we do not always get extra time to express our fondness. So do it while you can. Cherish the bonds that uplift you, and don't hesitate to step away from those that tear you down. Routine, while comforting in some ways, can cause you to forget that you are here to live, not merely exist. Stepping outside your comfort zone, trying something new, or doing something that sparks your curiosity, infuses your days with energy. When you find yourself simply going through the motions, take a moment to remember that life is an ever-evolving experience, not a static timeline of repetitive tasks. Finally, there's a vital realization that your life's journey is unique, and comparisons do it no justice. Observing others' paths can lead to feeling inadequate or behind, but no two people have the exact same circumstances or lessons to learn. When you accept your own journey with its twists, triumphs, and setbacks, you become free. You see that every turn had a purpose, every hurdle helped shape you, and every success, no matter how modest, deserves recognition. Embrace the story you have lived, the present you occupy, and the future still forming beyond your sight. Despite hardships, you're still here, able to learn, to love, and to rediscover the joy in simple acts. Let the rest of your days be guided by nurturing yourself, setting boundaries, and finding peace in small moments. This is not abandoning others, but rather realizing that your well-being is essential for truly being there for those you care about. As you settle into this mindset of caring for your body, mind, and spirit, you open up space for deeper fulfillment. In the hush of your newfound stillness, you may find the quiet, unwavering joy that was waiting for you all along.